Welcome everyone, welcome back to our channel. Today we will be exploring a timeless parable from the Bible and discovering how the principles in this parable can be applied to our daily lives. This parable is the parable of the talents. And I take it from Matthew 25, verses 14 to 30. Please, in your free time, read it up and you can come back to the video. So in Matthew 25, verse 14 to 30, we find the parable of the talents. In this story, a master entrusts his servants with varying amounts of money, or let me call them talents. So let's break down the key points in this parable. Before we go any further, if this is your first time stumbling on any of my videos, you are welcome. This is Wake Up With Me. My name is Femi Ayodele, and here we wake up one another to the person that God has created us to be. So let's dive right in. To all my subscribers, I appreciate you. You guys are the real MVPs. Thank you for always being here. Thank you for commenting. Thank you. I really appreciate your presence. The master in the story represents the giver of resources. The master represents God, who gives us opportunities, skills, finances, and life. And the servant represents us, entrusted with all of these resources. Now, how can we relate this parable to our everyday investments? How do we reconcile this parable, relate this parable to our everyday investments? Number one, I would say, is stewardship and responsibility. So like the servants in this parable, we have a responsibility to manage our resources wisely. Our resources includes our time, our skills, our money, and opportunities. How do you handle the opportunities that come to you? How do you handle your money? Even your skills, how do you handle your skills? How do you manage your time? These are resources that God has given to us. And they could also be related, or we could also term them as talents that God has given us. So how do we handle them? How do we work on them? How do we use them? Do we just waste our time? Do we spend money on frivolities? Do we sit on our skills and not improve them? And do we let opportunities slide by? I leave this as a food for thought to anyone listening to me. Another one is talking about risk and reward. Before I go into risk and reward, remember that in the story, God gave these servants different talents. To one he gave 5, to one he gave 1, to one he gave 3 or 2. And in that story, those ones the one with the 5 talents came back with a return on investment. It came out with profit. The second one, the same thing. But the one he gave 1 talent came back and said, Lord, I know that you are the one that likes to reap where you did not sow. So I kept your talent. And now that you need it, I am giving it to you back the same way you gave it. But the other people took those talents, made use of them, invested them, increased it, and came and gave back the talent with the profit on top of it. So how are you using your talent? How are you using your time? How are you using your skills? A lot of us, sometimes we sit on our potential. We don't maximize what we have before us. The next one is risk and reward. Just as the servants who invested their talents were rewarded. They were rewarded because they took calculated risk. So calculated risk in our investment can lead to greater reward. Just as the servants who took a risk, took their 5 talents, took their 2 talents, took a risk and invested it, because really, they could have invested it and gotten nothing back. But they invested it and got something back. And when they got to the master, they tendered the talent and they got a reward for it. Sometimes in our lives, we need to take calculated risk in our investments because they can also lead to greater rewards. Remember, we are talking about how the parable of the talents, relates to our everyday investments. The third one I called it multiplication and growth. See, friends, in the parable, I see the importance of multiplying what we have. Multiplying what we have could come in the place of continuous learning, skill development, finding ways to increase our impact. How are you multiplying? See, even the Bible, when God created us, the Bible records that God said we should go forth, dominate, and multiply. How are you using the resources, the talents, the gifting, the skills, the opportunities that God has given you? Are we multiplying it? Do you look at your skill set and say, I need to get better? Do you try to improve the skills that you have through continuous learning? Or through skill development? Do you try to manage your time wisely? Like in the little time you have, you are able to do so much and achieve much. It's still all about multiplication and growth. Do you harness the opportunities that come towards you such that it creates more opportunities? That is multiplication and as well growth. Another way this story can relate to us is avoiding inaction. The person that God gave just 1 talent, he didn't do nothing with his talent. He did not move. He did not do anything. But what happened to him? God took that talent from him and gave it to the other people. So I'm saying today that we should, when we avoid opportunities due to fear, we might lose many chances. The servant who buried his talent out of fear teaches us to overcome our inactions. Don't sit on yourself. Don't sit on your talents because you are afraid. Because you are afraid you are going to lose all. Take a leap of faith today. Make use of everything that you have. Sometimes to you, you might look like you don't know what you're doing. But with every risk you take, there is always a reward. So avoid inaction. Now, let's see how we can really practically apply all these principles to our daily lives. Number 1, we are accountable for the choices we make with our resources. Whatever choice you decide to make, you are accountable for it. So setting goals and tracking progress can actually help us stay on track. This parable also encourages us to be diligent and efficient in everything that we do. Just like the servants, investing effort in our pursuit is always essential for growth. Put your effort into it. Focus on it. What you focus on grows. So focus on whatever it is that you're doing, and you will see growth in it. Patience, they say, is key, friends. Whether it is financial investment or personal growth, thinking long term can be very significant and it can lead to significant progress. Don't be thinking about just now. Think about the future. Be strategic in your thinking. Have a long-term perspective in anything that you're doing. And when you do that, you'll be patient and you'll be consistent and you keep going. As I speak to you, I speak to myself as well. Finally, I will say to us, let's aim to maximize our potential. Seize opportunities. When we seize opportunities, we make the most of our resources. So, as we wrap up, what I want to say to us is that we need to remember that the parable of the talent teaches us valuable lessons about wisely using what we have been given. By applying these principles to our investments, we can work towards personal growth and professional growth. With that, I say thank you for watching. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more content. Until next time, I remain Femi Ayodele, and I pray that this word brings forth fruit in the life of whoever is listening to it. I love you guys, and I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.